Hello. So today I'm going to look at the Crayola dual-ended colored pencils that come with 24 colors. That's 12 pencils with dual ends, and they have pairs of colors as you can see in here. Now the way I've got them laid out is more of a rainbow red, orange, yellow, green because it makes it easier for me to look for the color that I'm working with. But know that they don't do that on their pencils. They have it done in sort of opposite colors, but they use colors that they think sort of go together, like the aqua and orchard or orchid, red, orange, and navy blue, and that sort of thing. All right, so we're going to put this here. Oh look, it's the cat, sweetheart. All right, I'm going to need that spot. Let me move stuff off my desk so that there is a spot for the cat over next to the nope, a little further. There we go. All right. Right, we have solved the cat issue. Alright, when I do color charts for colored pencils, I try to use as much space as I can because that way you can go from a more saturated color to a lighter color and see the full range, and then maybe even do some scribbles to see what the scribble color is going to be like. So we're going to start with red, which is here. I will note that these are fairly thin. And also, when you sharpen them, they don't always sharpen evenly. There's been times that I've sharpened them, and even when I try to sharpen slow and carefully, that it ends up breaking off the end. So these are not, we'll call, high-end colored pencil. They certainly do the job all right, but you can expect to lose some of it to the sharpening process, and then with it being so small that it will use up pretty quickly, and then you'll be stuck with whatever the opposite color is, depending on how you tend to wear colors down. Right, so we'll start with red. We'll go with a more saturated red at one end. And then go to a lighter red. And do a little bit of scribbling. And that's almost more of a rose color in my mind. It is too red orange. You know, you're going to have this challenge. Whatever colored pencils you use, that they're going to have some colors that you love and then some colors that are not quite the color that you would normally go with. This is more of a, we'll say, brick red, a softer brick red. And of course you can blend colors together, so you know, part of the beauty of colored pencils is that you get some colors and then you can blend them. Neither of these are what I prefer in red. Which is a much more, I don't know, fire engine red, we'll call it. But that is okay. Some people might think that these colors are perfect. That's the peach. This must be the salmon. Salmon. This is a salmon color. So I'm doing this on a hard wood surface to make sure it gets the best possible chance of transferring, and even so it's a little on the light side. But again, you know, there's times that you want to do casual coloring and you aren't too worried about getting super saturated. I'm trying to like really bear down here to see how dark I can get it to go. And especially if you're practicing with things, you don't necessarily want to practice with something like Prismacolor where, you know, you're burning through a fair amount of money with each stroke that you're making. So it's good to practice with some things that are less expensive and get the hang of blending techniques, and use white blenders or colorless blenders or blending sticks or all that other kind of stuff. Yeah, this one fades away pretty quickly. Imagine you could barely even see that on the camera side. See how much darker I can go over here. A little darker. Harvest Gold. This is one that the pencil sharpener had trouble with. A little lighter. Golden yellow. Some of these colors, I mean, you probably can't even see that in there, but that's white against a yellow. That is really hard to read. I think that they should have gone with a black lettering against the lighter colors so that you have a better chance of reading what you are working with. But I mean, there's only 24 colors in here, so it's not that hard to tell the difference between the golden yellow and the straight yellow, for example. I got the straight yellow. Yeah, I'm trying to look at it to verify it, and I can barely see that that says yellow. So just little things they could have done to make this easier. What do you think, Kitty? Yeah, Kitty? Yep, you stay over there in your kitty space. Yellow green, that's lime green. Oh, see, look, this is already fallen out. All right, well, luckily I have the, you know, and I just sharpened this like 2 minutes ago when I was starting this too, so. I do have a Prismacolor sharpener around here somewhere, but I'm not sure where that is. Uh-oh, here comes Felix. What in the world? Usually it's bad enough that I have Zuzu over here causing trouble. Never mind having Felix over here too. Kitty, there isn't room for 2 kitties. You're gonna have to go elsewhere. I'm sorry. Good kitty. Alright, it's the yellow green, the lime green. Put the lime on the coconut, which always makes me think of the Bones TV show. Lime green. I know, Felix. I fed you guys already. You have been fed. I fed you for this very reason, so that you would not be over here trying to cause trouble for me while I was trying to do my color chart. So in terms of actually using these, I've done a number of drawings with them that were casual types of drawings for family and friends, and they came out quite fine. So they are certainly, like, I love this aqua. This is a really pretty color. So it has some lovely colors in it, and by having them double-ended, they fit into far less space, so that if you're taking them out while you go on a trip or something, they're much more compact than like bringing a whole Prismacolor set along with you. So there's always trade-offs. You know, when I go traveling with watercolors, I don't bring my full set of watercolors with me. I bring a travel kit that has just a couple that I need for the purpose. And then, you know, you might say, well, I don't have all of my different colors with me when I travel, and you know, that's okay. You do the best you can with what you've got, and it is fine. Sky blue, no. Sky blue. Kitties, I fed all you guys. Why are you being so strange today? Who knows what's in the mind of kitties? Certainly not me. Blue. That's the sky blue. Here's the blue. Blue almost looks a bit purplish. You know, all these colors tend to look a bit like each other. Navy blue. Sorry. There we go. Well, you could also say that this has more blue colors than it does of some of the other colors, but you know, they have to go by what people are likely to use. You only really have one orange, and then they have some of their red oranges and things like that. So maybe they figure people don't tend to do oranges much. Magenta. Orchid. Violet. I'm also a fan of having a variety of different kinds of art supplies around, because if you only use one type of art supply, then you don't really get a sense of if it's harder or softer than ones, and if the colors are slightly different than other ones, and maybe there's some projects that this is the perfect magenta and it's just slightly different from magentas that are in other packs that you might have. So I like getting sets of different colored pencils of different cost levels. And there's always going to be a purpose for some of them. You know, and maybe you're hanging out in a public place and coloring, and someone comes along and wants to try it, and you could let them try with the cheaper variety while you work with the more expensive variety, and they can see what it's like. It's all sorts of purposes for your different colored sets. Or, you know, a friend comes over to visit or whatever it is. Gray. Now what's funny, and I just noticed this, is that it says gray with an AY, which is the American spelling, on the crayon, but it says gray with an EY on the box. You would think that they would match. And I put on my sheet the EY because I was matching the box, but it is amusing to me that it doesn't match what the actual crayon says. It's just a American versus British spelling difference, but you know, they should be consistent one way or the other. Whatever they choose. Black. It's generally important to me that black actually comes out in a nice deep color, because that's often a, you know, pupils of eyes or other things that you really want to be a very deep black. And this is coming out more like a dark gray than a black, but that's alright. It's just good to know. That's why you do color charts and tests. It's good to know what the range of your tools are, and then that way you know what you're able to do. You know, if the black doesn't get that dark, maybe you have to ease off on the other colors to make sure that you get the overall range that you're looking for. And it's going to be hard to show white against white, but we'll do it anyway. The white looks like white. I think a better test would be to make some black eyeball. You know, what if you did a complex eyeball of some sort, and then you put a black pupil in it, and you know, you could leave aside the white, but sometimes you need to put it up on top for various reasons. Yeah, that doesn't really sit on top or make a white spot. What if we do something lighter, like, what is this, the aqua green? Alright, so I don't get the sense that the white will sit on top of any of it and really be visible as a strong white. What if we color on top of something? Yeah, so if you were using colored paper, like a blue paper, and then put white, you could get it to dull out a little bit. But I would use something else like a white gel pen or something if you actually wanted a bright white spot on the top of your colored pencils. So, to summarize, these are dual-ended colored pencils by Crayola. You get 24 colors on 12 pencils that are dual-ended. You just sharpen your way down on whichever end, and at some point you end up with little nibs, and maybe the nib is mostly blue and only a little red or whatever it is, and then you replace the colors that you tend to use the most of. So works reasonably well for the price range that it's in, and it's definitely a good set to have, especially if you're doing traveling. So let me know if you have any questions.